Hello student, welcome back to the channel Yanimam. Today we learn about a poetry of William Shakespeare and the title is Let Me Not to the Marriage of True Minds. This sonnet was written by the English poet William Shakespeare, most likely written in 1590s. During a craze for sonnet in English literature, it was not published until 1609. Although this sonnet has gone on to become one of the most universally beloved and celebrated poem in the English language. The poem describes true love as an enduring, unbending commitment between the people and a bond so powerful that only death can reshape it. The poem is romantic. Some readers may doubt the sincerity of its love. This sonnet defines love by telling both what it is and is not. In the first stanza, the speaker says that the marriage of true mind is perfect and unchanging. It does not admit impediments and it does not change even when it finds changes in the loved one. Now, the poem continues with the speaker use of metaphors and another literary terms, a guiding star to lost ships that is not susceptible to storms. And he again describes what love is not, and it is not change with the time. Though beauty fades in love as rosy lips and cheeks come within his bending sickle's compass. Love does not change with hours and weeks. Instead, it bears it out even to the age of doom, to the day of last judgment day. In the last line, he used a couplet, and the speaker attested to his certainty that love is as says his if his statement can be proved to be error, to be wrong, he declares he must never have written a word, never have written a poem, and no man can ever have been in love. Now, the line by line analysis of the poem. The first and second line is Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. And the poem begins with a bold declaration echoing the Christianity of marriage ceremony, and the true love should not equalize any obstacles. It means Shakespeare wants to say that the after marriage, then love becomes to be true, and true love never be changed. Love is not love, which alters when it alterations finds or bend with the remove to remover. And love is not true love if it is change when circumstances change. It does not waver when a lover is unfaithful. Shakespeare highlighting its constancy through this line. The line number 5th to 6th. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that look on tempest and is never be shaken. Love is compared to a lighthouse and never affected by the problems of life. And the line number 7 to 8. It is the star to every wandering bark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. Love is like the North Star, guiding lost ships, and love true values can't be measured through its use for navigation for the whole life. Now, the again line number 9 to 10. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass. Love is not the subject to time's decay. The physical beauty fades through death, but true love is immortal. The line number is 11 to 12. Love utters and not with his brief hours and weeks, but bear it out even to the age of doom. In this line, Shakespeare tells us that love does not change with passing time. It lasts until the end of the world, until the end of life of human being. And the last line, line number 13 to 14, Shakespeare used a term of couplet. And if this be error, and upon me proved wrong, I never writ, no man can ever loved. Now, Shakespeare makes a claim through this poetry. If his definition of love is wrong, then he never wrote poetry in his whole life, and no one ever truly loved. This couplet shows Shakespeare's confidence of love. Now, we talk about the theme of the poetry, and the theme of the poetry is love and the changes. At the first, it's important to note that this sonnet is a part of sequence of love poems traditionally believed to be the addressing to a young man. Their relationship as depasses to the sonnets as a whole, and it tramples to full of indefined and gust of passion. There is considerable disagreement among scholars as to whether this context to the should affected the interpretations of sonnets 116. If it does not, the poem is a powerful statement about love, addressed to all the readers in all time. But if it does not, the poem comes across instead as an attempt to repair a damaged relationship, a personal play directed to a particular person. The speaker is trying to prove the young man that he does love him in spite of everything, and this is love won't change. Over the course of Sonnet 116, the speaker makes a number of passionate claims about what love is and what love is not. For the speaker, true love doesn't change over the time. Instead, it goes on with the some instancy forever. The speaker establishes this argument from the poem's opening line, boldly declaring that love is not really love at all if it bends and changes and sways in response to reblocks. Instead, he argues that love weather all storms it's like a star, it's like a pole star that sailors use to navigate, and providing an unmoving reference point that they can use to plot their course across the globe. Love, then, is something that preserved through the impediments, obstacles, and difficulties without losing any of its passion or commitment. And that Shakespeare tells us in the line of 9 and 10, Shakespeare adds that true love doesn't falter even as beauty fades, represented in the poem by the image of youthful, rosy cheeks and lips losing their vitality, because love is not primarily concerned with the body, and it is affected by again of the age of life. And in the line number 11 to 12, he claiming that love doesn't change under any circumstances. And it goes on. He claims that to the age of doom, to the day of last judgment, in other words, only when a lover dies and does finally change or end. The speaker is so confident in his argument that he is willing to issue and a bet, and if he is wrong, then love itself too impossible and no man ever loved. And in making this bet, he puts up his own behavior as evidence. He accepts that he is also a lover, and it's a declaration of love. and his love does live up and to this standard, this will be a romantic statement of affection. The speaker used hyperbole to define his positive, invoking all lovers in all times in line number 14. In idealism, might make the Shakespeare feels a bit unreliable. Some readers may wonder how realistic the love really is and find it guardians instead of intimate. The poem claims about love can't necessarily be taken on face values. Then they should be evaluated for their sincerity and possibilities. And in these respected, they may be found wanting. At the conclusion of the poetry, the poem is a timeless ode to enduring love, defining it as unchanging, unyielding, and eternal. Shakespeare evaluates that love beyond physical or temporal constraints, pressing and presenting it as an immortal, immeasurable force that withstands life's greatest challenge. The poem's powerful imaginary structures, argument, and defined final couplet make it of the most quietnessly statement on love in English literature. Thank you so much for listening.